Well, hopefully this is not going to be an expensive display I'm going to put together today. This was bought at the 99-cent store last week for $4, $3.99. And what you do, you place soil in here and you can plant your plants and make a little miniature display. I thought it was pretty nice. If I'd bought this at Michael's, it would have easily been $10 to $15, I'm sure. This is not a new piece. I've had this probably like 3 or 4 years. It's a little castle and it's got a little frog in it. And I had some other little pieces that went with this, but because these pieces are so small, I don't know where they're at. We may find them, we may not, but I'm not even thinking I'm going to. Now, let's see what other little items I have. These are also probably 4 or 5 years old. They've been out in the garden the whole time. It's a little unicorn with her baby. And here's Daddy. So they're pretty cute. And they're pretty small and they'll work out fine. I took some cuttings from my succulents, so that was free also. Here's some more cuttings from some more succulents. They're sort of on the small side because this container is small and I want them to look good together. Now we're going to go and get some soil put in this, and then we will start building our display. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it yet, and I have another container that it can fit in that is free also. You know, Grandma, she's always looking for something free she can repurpose for her displays. So, gonna get busy and I'll give you another update soon. Well, we're ready to start putting it together. I had some little tiles that I got out of the trash because you know I'm always looking for something free I don't have to pay for. I've had them at least a couple of years and I've used them in past posts, but there was no cost involved. All the succulents were free. They were cuttings off my plants. My moss was bought a couple of years ago. I repurposed as much as possible. And of course, my wonderful little fairy castle was also bought several years ago. And my unicorns are probably 5 or 6 years old. I got a little stick off of one of my plants for I can make a little hole for my succulents. I have my bag of moss. You know how I like being prepared when it comes to moss. It's too expensive and I always set everything up, and when I'm done, then I put it back in its bag for another project. I now have put soil in my little container. The soil was wet when I put it in here, so that way it's totally wet to make sure the plants have enough water. And that way I don't have to water it a lot once I get it together. And here's the area where I'm going to put everything. I did pick up level the soil off more because I didn't want my castle to fall over. And when we get done, it's going to look magical and you're not even going to see the dirt. Because you know, I have a bag full of moss to cover it. The thing I did was push back my tomato plants for we don't see them also. First thing I did was see if I liked the castle on top. I'm liking it just fine. Well, let's get busy and start planting. I already am running out of shade. The lighting is so bad. I should have been out here sooner, but when you work until 11 o'clock at night, and time you get in bed, it's 1 o'clock. I just couldn't get up early enough this morning to shoot this properly. Well, anyway, here we are trying to get this done. I cut these succulents a couple days ago. It's better to do that and let them dry out and scab over at the end before you plant them in. I had the soil totally wet before I put it in, like I said, and this is how it looks. It's looking pretty nice. We still have to get some moss. You know, moss will make this look magical. Well, we're all done with Frog Castle. Hope you're going to enjoy how this one turned out. Sorry the lighting is so bad. Just so late when I get home at night and have to get up so early. We did the best we could. Well, let's go and check out Frog Castle. Why is it called Frog Castle? As you can see, there is a frog up there. And he takes such good care of his frog castle, doesn't it? He makes it look so magical. Happy ever after. That is what he wants, to live a peaceful life and waiting for his true love. I thought it turned out really well. The salvias look beautiful, do they not, next to the beautiful frog castle. It's finished off so well with all the little details from the beautiful roof down to the frog, the shutters, all the flowers winding through the castle and up the side. And the little container that it's setting in was from a 99-cent store. It was $4, so it wasn't bad. That is the only thing that was new in this display. Everything else I already had. The beautiful castle was from Michael's, and I've had it for quite some time. Looks like we have a little friend that stopped in to get a little photo op. See the little bee flying around the salvia. I have bees all the time in my place, and I'm allergic to them and I leave them alone. They have the run of the place. Let's get back to the castle. Isn't the castle beautiful? And all my little succulents I put in. Really enjoyed cutting them. In fact, I didn't even use all that I had. Make sure when you cut them, you let them dry out for a couple days before replanting them. Eventually they'll get roots and they'll do fine. I will probably eventually pull them out and put them in a bigger container, probably in the fall. But for right now, this is their new home. And I thought they did good, mimicking some little trees next to the castle. Of course, they will do better once they get some roots. And you walk down the pathway from the castle, and as you see, more succulents that I have put in there, more cuttings. And then I made a little patio at the bottom, as you can see. And of course, we have some beautiful, beautiful little unicorns, Mom and Dad. So happy with their new little baby. A lovely family of unicorns. The unicorns I probably have had about 5 or 6 years, maybe 7, I don't know. I've had them a long time. So all the wonderful things you see here are things I've had for years or freebies. The tiles I got out of the trash at work during a job they were doing a remodel, so there was no cost for that. It was trash that I thought I could reuse and repurpose. Also, I have all this beautiful moss all about too, as you can see. That I've had in a bag for the last couple of years. I reuse and repurpose as much as I can. And here I have my little wooden log. It was just a piece of wood I found laying around and thought, well, let me try that and see how it looks in my miniature garden. I thought it looked pretty good. What do you think, my awesome friends? Well, give me your opinion on what you thought I did. How does it look? I thought it looked pretty good for a $4 fairy garden. Let me know what you thought. So if you're not already following me, please think about it, my dear friends. We always love new family members, and I hope you let everyone know it's Fairy Month over at Grandma Sandy's place. We have a lot more fairy gardens to put up this month. So please come back and see what we have to share and see what beautiful displays we can put together for this month. And see how little Grandma can spend. Grandma's always looking for something that doesn't cost her a lot of money.